This is Liverpool, home of the most lovable club in England, Everton. On the docks is a transformation underway. Not within the maritime industry, but in the plans for a new home for Everton.
Oh my goodness.
Goodison Park, while steeped in history, has grown old and outdated. It is no longer offering the immersive experience that the passionate Toffees deserve. That's why Everton is embarking on a monumental project, the construction of a $1 billion brand new state-of-the-art stadium at the Bramley Moor docks. But how do you create a cutting-edge stadium that reflects the legacy of Everton, while ensuring it captures the soul and spirit that the club has cultivated over decades? That's the $1 billion question we're about to answer today. Let's find out how 52,000 seats, a $1 billion price tag, and 15,000 new jobs can create the best stadium in the world. Feeling excited? You should be. Everton's new stadium is like a giant Lego set for grown-ups. But instead of plastic bricks, we're talking about 12,000 tons of steel. We'll give you the latest update on the new stadium. We'll show what it will look like and where it will be built. All to create the best matchday experience in the world. Liverpool's changing skyline, more than just football. As we look at Liverpool's changing skyline, you might wonder, why did Everton risk the city's UNESCO World Heritage status for this location? The answer lies in the historic Bramley Moor dock, part of Liverpool's rich maritime past. Once filled with ships and cargo, it's now transforming into Everton's new stadium, a symbol of the city's future. However, this change came at a cost. The Everton Stadium led to Liverpool losing its UNESCO status. The city's waterfront, which was part of the World Heritage Site, saw several large-scale projects in the last years. UNESCO felt that these developments, while bringing economic benefits, were eroding the authenticity and integrity of Liverpool's heritage. But Everton's stadium isn't just about the new, it's also preserving the old. The Grade 2 listed hydraulic tower and engine room from 1883 will be incorporated into the design, blending history with modernity. As Colin Chong, Everton's Chief Stadium Development Officer, said, "This stadium will be the first and last thing people see when they cruise down the River Mersey." It's not just a new building, it's reshaping Liverpool's waterfront identity. Engineering marvels, building on water. But how do you build a stadium with more than 52,000 seats on an old dock, where the silty soil is very unstable? Everton's engineers came up with a groundbreaking solution, a fully suspended structure that essentially floats above the problematic ground. It's like giving the stadium its own set of water wings, ensuring it won't sink into the dock's soft underbelly. To create this floating fortress, the team first had to fill in the dock. They brought in a staggering 480,000 cubic meters of sand from the Irish Sea. To put that into perspective, it's enough to fill 192 Olympic-sized swimming pools. The sand delivery itself was a Herculean task. A dredger made 130 round trips over 20 miles into the Irish Sea, working non-stop for 3 months. But sand alone isn't enough to support a stadium. Enter 12,000 tons of structural steel. That's the weight of about 2,500 elephants. Despite these impressive numbers, the battle against the silt continues. The ground is still settling at rates of up to 5 mm per week. It's like the Earth is slowly trying to reclaim the stadium, 1 millimeter at a time. This ongoing challenge requires constant monitoring and may need future pitch maintenance. Who knew football grounds could be so high maintenance? Architect Dan Mace's visit, a vision realized. The construction started in 200 UX and is nearing completion. Time for architect Dan Mice to pay a visit to the almost ready stadium.
When you first walked in?
Yeah, it looks like we're not far from playing football.
In 2020, Dan got the question of how he would design the new Everton Stadium. His sketch was basic but already iconic. And this is what it now looks like.
One of the first people I interviewed down here from Lango Roar said it's one of the best locations, but also one of the most challenging.
Sure.
And you can see that point, can't you?
Yeah, and I mean, that wasn't lost on us from the very beginning. I mean, well, I remember early conversations with Farhad about you could have picked a much less expensive site to build on. I mean, just the challenge of filling a dock and making it buildable, that was hard. But in the totality of it all, to put this asset on the riverfront here, so close to the city center, it's a dream site from that perspective. And I think in the end, again, people will fall in love with that. And I think one of the things that Colin was talking about with what we heard from the fans, it's important to note, people weren't hating Goodison. I mean, it's hard to leave Goodison because there's so much history there. And of course, it was tired and it had lots of challenges from the very beginning. But it wasn't an easy thing for people to get past the.
One of the standout features that caught Mace's eye was the single-tier stand, designed to accommodate 13,000 fans. Inspired by Borussia Dortmund's famous Yellow Wall, this architectural marvel promises to create an electric atmosphere on match days. But Mace's tour wasn't just about marveling at modern marvels. The architect took particular pride in how the stadium design incorporates elements of Liverpool's rich maritime heritage.
Oh my goodness.
The Grade 2 listed hydraulic tower, a relic from 1883, will serve as a symbolic entrance to the stadium. It's a perfect blend of old and new, honoring the past while stepping boldly into the future. For Mace, this project transcends football. He sees the stadium as a catalyst for community renewal and economic growth, projecting to attract 1.4 million visitors annually. It's not just changing the game for Everton, it's changing the face of Liverpool itself. A stadium for the future, sustainability and innovation. As you marvel at the architectural prowess of Everton's new stadium, you might be wondering, can a football club's ambitions extend beyond the pitch to tackle global challenges? Everton's not just building a new home, they're constructing a blueprint for the future of sports venues. The club aims to create the Premier League's most sustainable stadium, incorporating eco-friendly measures from construction to operation. The stadium's Blue Wave aesthetic, inspired by the historic tobacco warehouse, ensures it harmonizes with the dock's heritage while pushing the boundaries of modern design. Subscribe to this channel and check other stadium construction projects. Feeling inspired by Everton's ambitious project? You're not alone. As we've explored the engineering marvels and architectural wonders of their new stadium, you might be wondering what other exciting developments are happening in the world of sports architecture. Well, you're in luck. Our channel is your gateway to the fascinating world of stadium construction. From the historic renovation of Barcelona's Camp Nou to Manchester City's impressive stadium expansion, we've got you covered. And let's not forget the new AS Roma Stadium, another testament to modern sports architecture.